Welcome to Varsity. I'm Ryan Aber, joined by Jason Kersey. Jason, a big slate of games this week. Week 3, last week of non-district play for most of these teams. The first game we're going to talk about is Thursday night in Edmond, featuring a team we knew would be really good, Midwest City, against a surprise team, Edmond Santa Fe. We knew they'd be better, but they've exceeded all expectations to this point.
Oh yeah, Edmond Santa Fe has been outstanding. They've really shown their talent and their athleticism throughout the first 2 games. And they went and beat their rival, Edmond Memorial. I think some people expected that, but not everyone did. I didn't. And then last week when they went to UConn and upset them in the opener in their new home stadium, that was very impressive. So it should be a great game between 2 very athletic teams.
And we've heard a lot about some of the defensive players on Edmond Santa Fe and that part being improved. But they've got a quarterback who's pretty good as well, Justice Hansen, a youngster, but really showed some poise through the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Lance Manning has said that he's mature beyond his years as just a sophomore quarterback. And I think that he's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the intelligence to really be a great player here for the next couple of years for the Wolves. And I think that that's going to be one of the keys in this game is how he handles the inevitable mistakes he will probably make against the Midwest City secondary, Ricky Reeves and Ronnie Davis. And when he makes those mistakes, how he responds to them will really show his maturity, and that'll be a big key in this game.
And I think this is a big game for them either way, regardless of whether they win or lose, just because it'll let him get some experience in those big-time games, something he hasn't had yet. Yes, UConn was a big-time win for him last week, but Midwest City is stepping it up even more. I think, from my perspective, I think Midwest City is just a little too tough. They've played way too many of these big games the last few years to get rattled much by it. I think Midwest City comes out with a win, but 3 weeks ago I probably would have said it was a blowout. Now I think it's going to be a really close game. Edmond Santa Fe is really going to keep surprising people as the season goes on. What are your thoughts on how this game wraps up?
Well, you know, I think that I agree with what you said. Midwest City does have the big game experience. They were expected to be this good, and Edmond Santa Fe was not, given the fact that it is in Edmond. And also, I think there's one other matchup that I think is going to be really key, and that's Midwest City's offensive line is still relatively inexperienced. The Edmond Santa Fe defensive line, which is led by Michael Anoha, has been phenomenal throughout the first 2 weeks. And I think that might be a big key. And I'm actually going with Edmond Santa Fe to upset Midwest City in this one.
Wow, Edmond Santa Fe, you go against them the first 2 weeks, you learned your lesson a little bit maybe.
Exactly. You know, I picked them to lose to Memorial. They blew Memorial out. I picked them to lose to UConn, and they went out there and got that win. I'm not going to make the same mistake again.
All right, another game, this one on Friday night, a big game. McGinnis and Millwood, 2 teams from 2 different classes, had different fates last week. McGinnis went up to 5A, beat Tulsa Kelly, really impressive win for them. Millwood played Class 4A number 1 Douglas and lost a tight one. How do you see this game playing out?
Well, you know, McGinnis has really changed over the last couple of months with their new coach, Justin Jones. Under Kenny Young, they were more of a ground control team. And now under Justin Jones, they're more spread out offense. They try to run faster. They're a much quicker pace. And when I saw them scrimmage against Lawton Mack, they were really struggling with that new pace. But apparently things have changed, and some of the players have told me that things are going a lot better in their new offense. And when they went up to Tulsa Kelly and won, I was really surprised at how well they played in that game. They've got great talent. Obviously Millwood does too, but I would expect Bishop McGinnis to come out on top in this one.
So you're picking the Irish to win this one? Yes,
I am. You know, they've got a phenomenal defense, Bishop McGinnis does. Their linebacking core is Nick Jeffries, Brandon Wynn, and Danny Kringer. And that linebacking core is really great, and I think that they'll be able to slow down Millwood enough to win.
And I'm going to go the same way. I think McGinnis is just a little too tough for Millwood at this point. Millwood played a brutal non-district schedule, starting with Starr, then Douglas, now McGinnis. That's going to prepare them for when they go back to 2A. They're not going to face a real challenge until they face Jones. Until we get to the playoffs, really. I think that's going to help them, but McGinnis comes out atop of this one. Another game we're going to talk about, the last one of the today, Heritage Hall and Davis, Class 3A number 1 versus Class 2A number 1. Heritage Hall goes and whips a pretty good 4A team last week in Clinton. Does Davis stand a chance in this one?
I don't think they do. You know, I think Davis is a great team, and I think they're going to be great in Class 2A. But Heritage Hall is just too good. I think there are a lot of 5A teams that Heritage Hall would handle with the talent that they have. I just when they went to Clinton and won the way they did, I'm not sure they'll be even challenged until week 9 when they play Bethany, and even then, I'm not so sure about it. When they play Anadarko in the playoffs, if they get to, then that'd be a great matchup. But I don't think Davis has much of a shot.
Yeah, I don't either, really. I think, like you said, I don't know that Bethany even gives Heritage Hall much of a challenge. I think Anadarko is really the only team in their class that can really match up with the athleticism that Heritage Hall has, and even then they don't have the depth that Heritage Hall has. I think that's really going to show. I look at Clinton a lot like Davis, just a bigger team, and look what they did to Clinton. So I think that some of the same reasons that Heritage Hall was able to blow out Clinton is going to lead to them winning comfortably in this one. I think Davis has a great shot to win a Class 2A state title, but Heritage Hall gets it done this week.
Yeah, and also going out to Clinton and winning in that stadium in the Tornado Bowl the way that they did, and this game's at home, so I can't imagine they'll have any trouble with Davis.
Yeah, it'll be a fun week of games. Jason, thanks for joining us, and thank you, and check us out every day at newsok.com/varsity for the best high school coverage anywhere.